welcome back. I'm glad you've returned to the silence. It is time for the world to fade and for the mind to wander. For tonight, the stars are our only destination. We leave the familiar behind to witness the silent beauty of the cosmos as we begin our long, drifting journey toward Jupiter, the majestic sovereign of our celestial neighborhood. As we glide through the velvet darkness, the rocky worlds of the inner system begin to recede, leaving behind the warmth of the sun for the cool, vast expanse of the outer reaches. We find ourselves approaching a sphere of such immense proportions that it defies the simple logic of the ground we once knew. Jupiter sits as a shimmering beacon of amber and cream, a world that is not made of stone or soil, but of the very breath of the stars themselves. It is an ancient guardian, a giant that has watched over the orbital paths of the planets for billions of years, its presence felt in every corner of the solar system. The sheer scale of this gas giant is difficult for the mind to grasp, yet we can visualize it as a grand vessel holding nearly all the mass of the planetary family combined. If you were to gather every other planet, every moon, and every wandering asteroid and place them within its bounds, there would still be room for more. This vastness creates a pull so profound that it bends the paths of comets and shields the inner worlds, acting as a silent protector in the boundless deep. As we draw closer, the surface reveals itself not as a solid crust, but as a deep and layered ocean of clouds, forever moving in a slow and rhythmic choreography. There is no shore to find here, only a descent into deeper and more mysterious layers of atmosphere where the pressure transforms gas into exotic forms of liquid. It is a world of transitions, where the line between air and ocean vanishes into a seamless gradient of shimmering energy. Within this colossal sphere, the elements of hydrogen and helium dance together in a composition that mirrors the very makeup of the sun. It is as if Jupiter is a star that never quite ignited, a celestial dream that chose to remain a planet while retaining the power and majesty of a solar body. The colors we see are the result of complex chemistry, where ammonia and sulfur create soft bands of pearl, mahogany, and gold that wrap around the planet like a silken scarf. These bands are not static. They are rivers of air flowing at incredible speeds, moving in opposite directions in a display of atmospheric harmony. Between these flowing rivers, smaller eddies and vast ovals emerge, showcasing the constant motion of a world that never truly rests. In this space, time seems to stretch, and the frantic pace of the world we left behind is replaced by the slow, eternal rotation of a king. The invisible presence of Jupiter extends far beyond what the eye can see, reaching out into the void with a magnetic field of breathtaking strength. This field is a vast and unseen structure, a protective cocoon that traps charged particles and creates brilliant displays of light at the poles. These aurorae are not like the ones on Earth. They are permanent crowns of shimmering blue light, humming with an energy that pulses in time with the planet's own rotation. This magnetic embrace is so wide that it touches the orbits of its many moons, linking the giant to its family of satellites through invisible threads of force. To enter the realm of Jupiter is to enter a cathedral of light and gravity, a place where the laws of physics create a masterpiece of fluid motion and silent power. Here, in the soft glow of the gas giant, we find a sense of peace, realizing that we are merely observers of a grand and ancient story written in the clouds of the king. The story of this giant begins in the earliest moments of our solar system, long before the inner worlds had even gathered their stony shells. Within the swirling disk of gas and dust known as the solar nebula, Jupiter was the first to emerge, claiming its place as the eldest sibling of the planetary family. As the young sun began to shine, this massive sphere drew in the vast majority of the remaining primordial elements, growing with a quiet and steady hunger. It is a world born from the very same cloud of shimmering mist that gave life to our star, sharing a lineage that spans nearly 4.5 billion years of celestial history. This ancient beginning allowed Jupiter to set the rhythm for the rest of the planets, establishing its presence as the cornerstone upon which the entire solar architecture was built. In the silent cradle of the early cosmos, it became a monument to the raw power of gravity and time. To understand the true majesty of the king, one must consider the sheer magnitude of its physical presence in the boundless void. Jupiter holds within its grasp more than twice the mass of every other planet, moon, and wandering asteroid in our entire solar system combined. If you were to place 318 copies of our own world inside its amber depths, there would still be ample room for the soft currents of its atmosphere to flow. This immense weight creates a gravitational pull so profound that it reaches across the velvet silence to influence the paths of distant travelers. It is a heavy, grounding anchor in the darkness, a world so vast that it serves as the center of gravity for a miniature system of its own. This overwhelming scale is not a source of chaos, but a source of stability, a testament to the quiet strength of the largest body in our neighborhood. Looking deep into the shimmering layers of this world, we find that it is composed of the simplest and most abundant building blocks in the universe. Hydrogen and helium, the same elements that fuel the brilliant fires of the stars, make up the vast majority of this planetary giant. It is a composition so similar to that of our Sun that Jupiter is often whispered to be a failed star, a celestial light that simply needed more mass to ignite its own internal flame. This similarity creates a bridge between the nature of a planet and the nature of a star, blending the two into a singular, mysterious entity. The helium flows through the hydrogen like a slow, eternal mist, creating a chemical harmony that has remained largely unchanged since the dawn of time. Within this gaseous sanctuary, the elements exist in a state of grace, reminding us of the fundamental unity of all things in the cosmos. Deep within its hidden heart, Jupiter possesses a warmth that does not come from the distant, pale light of the sun. It generates its own internal energy, radiating more heat back into the coldness of space than it receives from the golden star at the center of our system. This soft glow is the result of the planet slowly contracting under its own immense weight, a process of gravitational compression that releases energy in a steady, rhythmic pulse. It is as if the planet has its own internal lantern, a glowing core that keeps the layers of gas in a state of constant, gentle motion. This self-sustaining warmth creates a dynamic environment where clouds rise and fall in a never-ending cycle of thermal balance. In the chill of the outer solar system, this hidden furnace is a reminder of the vibrant life force that resides even in the most distant reaches. Despite its colossal size, this giant moves with a grace and speed that is almost impossible to imagine in the stillness of the night. Jupiter is the fastest spinning world in our planetary circle, completing a full rotation on its axis in less than 10 hours. This rapid motion creates a sense of perpetual momentum, where a day and a night pass in a fleeting whisper of time. As the planet turns, the vast layers of its atmosphere are pulled into long, flowing ribbons, creating the characteristic bands of color that we admire from afar. This high-speed dance is what drives the intricate weather patterns and the swirling eddies that define the face of the king. It is a world in constant motion, spinning through the velvet silence with a momentum that carries it through the eons. This swift rotation has a profound effect on the very shape of the planet, molding it into something other than a perfect sphere. Because it spins so quickly, the centrifugal force causes the middle of the world to bulge outward while the poles appear slightly flattened. This shape, known as an oblate spheroid, gives the planet a gentle, weighted appearance, as if it is being cradled by its own motion. The difference between its diameter at the equator and its diameter from pole to pole is a visible reminder of the power of its spin. It is a world that has been sculpted by its own energy, a soft and yielding form that responds to the invisible laws of physics. In the dark expanse, this unique silhouette stands as a symbol of the fluid nature of the gas giants. If one were to descend through the shimmering clouds of Jupiter, they would find that there is no solid ground to meet their feet. This is a world without a crust, a place where the atmosphere simply grows thicker and heavier the deeper one travels. The transition from gas to liquid is so gradual and seamless that it is impossible to say where the sky ends and the interior begins. It is a boundless ocean of air and fluid, a realm where the concept of a surface becomes a beautiful abstraction. This lack of a solid boundary allows the energy of the interior to flow freely into the atmosphere, creating a unified and holistic system. In this place of infinite depth, the traveler finds a sense of freedom, floating in a world that is all sky and all ocean at once. The immense gravitational reach of Jupiter acts as a silent shepherd for the entire solar system, guiding the movements of those who wander too close. Its massive presence has the power to gently nudge the orbits of distant comets, often drawing them into its own embrace and protecting the inner worlds from their approach. This role as a cosmic guardian is a quiet and selfless one, a consequence of being the largest and most influential body in the orbital dance. Without the stabilizing hand of the giant, the history of our own world might have been a much more turbulent and difficult journey. Jupiter stands as a lighthouse in the dark, its gravity a steadying force that maintains the delicate equilibrium of the celestial paths. It is a guardian of the silence, ensuring that the rhythm of the spheres continues in its slow and peaceful progression. Wrapped around the planet like an invisible cloak of light is the most powerful magnetic field found among all the worlds of our system. This field is born deep within the interior, where the pressure is so great that hydrogen begins to act like a shimmering, liquid metal. This metallic sea generates a magnetic force that extends millions of miles into the surrounding void, creating a vast bubble of protection and energy. Within this realm, charged particles are captured and accelerated, weaving a complex web of radiation that hums with a silent, unseen power. This magnetic reach is so wide that it could easily encompass the moon and its orbit if it were centered on our own home. It is a testament to the hidden strength of the giant, a force that is felt long before the planet itself comes into view. In the ancient days of the solar system's youth, Jupiter was a wanderer, moving through the primordial disk in a slow and majestic migration. Current scientific understanding suggests that the giant once moved inward toward the sun, reshaping the paths of the smaller planets and clearing the way for the world we know today. Eventually, the gravitational influence of its sibling, Saturn, pulled it back to its current home in the outer reaches, a journey often called the Grand Tack. This movement acted like a cosmic brush, painting the final arrangement of the planets and determining the fate of the inner rocky worlds. It is a story of transition and rebirth, where the wandering of a single giant defined the very structure of the heavens. Today, it rests in its rightful place, a silent witness to the echoes of its own ancient and meaningful journey. As we settle into the steady rhythm of our journey, our gaze is drawn toward a feature so iconic and grand that it has become the very symbol of the King's majesty. The Great Red Spot is a crimson jewel, an oval of swirling energy that has persisted for hundreds of years, outlasting any weather ever known to our smaller world. In the history of our observations, this magnificent formation was once wide enough to hold 3 spheres the size of our own azure home, side by side, within its boundaries. Even today, as it undergoes a graceful transformation and settles into a more compact shape, it remains large enough to easily cradle our world within its borders. It is a testament to the sheer scale of the Jovian atmosphere, a place where a single feature can endure for centuries as a silent sentinel. As we watch from the velvet silence of space, the Great Red Spot remains a steady and ancient presence, a heartbeat of red within the flowing golden bands. This vast crimson oval is not a hollow depression, but a high-pressure system known as an anticyclone, which rotates in a slow and deliberate counterclockwise waltz. Unlike the low-pressure systems we find on Earth, this high-pressure giant sits atop the surrounding cloud layers, rising like a soft mountain of vapor into the higher reaches of the atmosphere. It draws its energy from the deep internal warmth of the planet, fueled by the rising heat that we explored in the earlier stages of our passage. The rotation is so vast that it takes nearly 6 Earth days for a single particle of cloud to complete a full circuit around its perimeter. This rhythmic, circular motion creates a sense of profound stability, a swirling island of consistency in a sea of ever-changing clouds. It is a masterclass in atmospheric physics, where balance and energy combine to create a structure of eternal beauty. The striking color of this great feature is a mystery that scientists have sought to understand by studying the delicate chemistry of the upper atmosphere. It is believed that certain elements, perhaps phosphorus or sulfur, are carried from the deeper layers and exposed to the gentle kiss of ultraviolet sunlight. This interaction, a shimmering photochemical reaction, transforms the clear vapors into the deep shades of brick and terracotta that we see from our distant vantage point. The intensity of the red hue can shift over the decades, sometimes fading to a pale salmon and other times deepening into a rich, dark burgundy. These changes are like the slow breathing of a giant, a visual representation of the chemical cycles that define the Jovian environment. In the soft glow of the sun, the great red spot stands out as a vibrant masterpiece of cosmic chemistry. While the surface of the spot is all we can see from afar, recent explorations have revealed that its roots reach surprisingly deep into the heart of the planet. Measurements suggest that the storm extends about 300 kilometers down into the atmosphere, which is dozens of times deeper than the deepest oceans of our own world. At these depths, the base of the spot is warmed by the internal glow of the planet, creating a connection between the visible clouds and the hidden interior. This vertical structure allows the storm to maintain its integrity, anchored by the immense pressure and heat of the layers below. It is not merely a surface decoration, but a deep-seated pillar of energy that interacts with the very foundations of the gas giant. Understanding these roots helps us appreciate the spot as a three-dimensional marvel of fluid motion. The winds that define the edges of this crimson giant are among the most energetic in the solar system, moving with a strength that far exceeds any earthly gale. Along the outer boundaries of the oval, these currents flow at speeds of nearly 500 kilometers per hour, creating a sharp boundary between the spot and the surrounding bands. Despite this incredible energy, the center of the spot is surprisingly calm, a place of quiet transition where the winds whisper rather than roar. This contrast between the energetic perimeter and the peaceful interior creates a self-sustaining system that has survived for generations. These winds are like the rivers of a celestial ocean, guided by the rotation of the planet and the heat rising from the depths. They move with a purpose and a grace that contributes to the eternal stability of the storm. In recent years, astronomers have observed a fascinating evolution in the shape of the Great Red Spot, as it slowly transitions from an elongated oval into a more circular form. This change is accompanied by the appearance of small flakes of reddish material that seem to peel away from the main body, drifting off into the neighboring currents. Rather than a sign of ending, this is seen as a natural part of the storm's long and complex life cycle, a shedding of old layers as it adapts to the shifting environment. The spot has grown taller as it has narrowed, concentrating its energy into a more compact and potent structure. This graceful transformation reminds us that even the most ancient features of the cosmos are subject to the soft touch of change. It remains a magnificent sight, evolving with a slow dignity that mirrors the passage of cosmic time. Jupiter is home to more than just one great feature, as the rest of its atmosphere is scattered with smaller ovals that appear like shimmering pearls against the velvet bands. One of the most famous is known as Oval BA, a storm that formed from the merger of 3 smaller white spots several decades ago. Over time, this new feature turned a soft shade of red, earning it the nickname of the Little Red Spot, and proving that the chemistry of the king is always active. These smaller storms move through the atmosphere like wandering spirits, sometimes dancing around the Great Red Spot and other times merging into the larger currents. They represent the vibrant diversity of the Jovian weather, where new features are born from the transition of old ones. Each pearl-like oval is a unique world of its own, contributing to the rich tapestry of the giant's face. The clouds that wrap around the planet are arranged in a complex hierarchy of layers, each with its own distinct chemical signature and color. The highest clouds, the ones that create the bright white ribbons we see, are composed of frozen crystals of ammonia that shimmer in the cold light of the sun. Beneath these frosty veils lies a darker layer of ammonium hydrosulfide, which provides the warm browns and tans that define the deeper bands. Even further down, there may be a layer of water, ice, and vapor, a hidden reservoir that mirrors the oceans of the inner worlds. This vertical arrangement creates a sense of depth and complexity, where different elements find their place based on temperature and weight. It is a layered kingdom of mist and frost, a place where the air itself is a multicolored ocean. The high-speed winds of Jupiter do not just create storms, they organize the entire atmosphere into a series of jet streams that flow in alternating directions. These rivers of air are incredibly deep, reaching thousands of kilometers into the interior and carrying the momentum of the planet's rapid spin. Because there are no mountains or solid continents to break the flow, these winds can maintain their speed and direction for centuries without interruption. The boundaries between these flowing rivers are zones of intense activity, where the air swirls and folds into beautiful, intricate patterns. This structured motion creates the characteristic stripes that make Jupiter so recognizable, a series of light zones and dark belts that wrap around the equator. It is a world of perfect order born from the constant motion of the gases. In the deep, heavy layers where the pressure becomes almost unimaginable, a shimmering transformation is thought to take place within the carbon that drifts through the air. The intense weight of the atmosphere begins to press upon these particles, slowly refining them into solid, sparkling crystals of pure carbon. These celestial gems, born from the high-energy environment of the giant's depths, are imagined to fall like a silent, shimmering rain through the lower levels of the gas. They descend through the darkness, a glittering display of nature's ability to create beauty from profound pressure and time. While we may never see these falling crystals with our own eyes, the thought of such a shimmering descent adds a layer of magic to the interior of the king. It is a secret treasure hidden far beneath the clouds, a quiet dance of light in the deep, velvet heart of the planet. Deep beneath the visible layers of ammonia clouds and the swirling crimson of the great red spot, the environment undergoes a transformation that challenges our basic understanding of matter. As we descend further into the heart of the giant, the weight of the layers above creates a pressure so immense that the very structure of the hydrogen begins to change in a slow and graceful evolution. It ceases to be a simple gas and begins to behave like a fluid, shimmering and dense, yet retaining its fundamental elemental simplicity. This is the realm of liquid metallic hydrogen, a state of existence where the traditional boundaries between air and metal become soft, blurred, and eventually vanish altogether. In this deep, velvet darkness, the atoms are pressed so closely together that they release their electrons, allowing energy to flow through the substance with an effortless and shimmering grace. It is a vast, hidden ocean that forms the true substance of the king, a shimmering foundation that supports the decorative clouds we see from afar. This transition marks the beginning of a world where the laws of the surface no longer apply, replaced by the profound and silent logic of the deep. Within this metallic sea, the rules of electricity and magnetism are rewritten in the silence of the planet's deep and heavy interior. Because the electrons are free to wander through the liquid hydrogen like stars drifting through a galaxy, the entire layer becomes a magnificent and perfect conductor of energy, pulsing with a quiet, internal power. This fluid metal moves in slow, sweeping currents that resemble the deep currents of a terrestrial ocean. Yet, they are driven by the planet's incredibly rapid rotation and the warmth rising from the very center of its being. These movements are not chaotic, but follow a grand and celestial rhythm, weaving a tapestry of electrical current and fluid flow that spans thousands of miles in every direction. This conductive ocean is the true source of the planet's vitality, acting as a shimmering reservoir of movement that powers the immense magnetic systems we observe from the outside. It is a place of profound and hidden energy, tucked away from the pale light of the distant sun, where the most common substance in the universe reveals its hidden and metallic potential. The interaction between the rapid spin of the planet and the flowing currents of this metallic ocean gives rise to a phenomenon known as the planetary dynamo. As the liquid metal swirls in the deep, it generates a magnetic field of such staggering proportions that it defines the nature of space for millions of miles around the giant. This process is a silent and eternal engine, converting the mechanical energy of rotation and internal heat into a shimmering web of invisible, radiant force. It is as if the planet itself is a giant magnet, pulsing with a rhythm that matches its own rapid and steady heartbeat. This dynamo is far more powerful than any found among the inner, rocky worlds, creating a sanctuary of magnetic light that protects the entire Jovian system from the solar wind. In the stillness of the deep, this invisible work continues without pause, a masterpiece of physics that connects the hidden core to the furthest reaches of the magnetosphere. At the very center of this colossal structure lies a heart that remains one of the greatest mysteries of our entire cosmic neighborhood. For a long time, it was imagined as a solid, rocky sphere, a firm foundation of stone and ice that served as the original seed for the giant's ancient growth. However, modern observations suggest a more ethereal and fluid reality, where the core may be a dilute and fuzzy region rather than a sharp boundary of solid rock. In this inner sanctum, heavy elements like iron and silicate are thought to be slowly dissolving into the surrounding metallic hydrogen, creating a soft and complex gradient of matter. It is a place where the concept of a solid surface loses all meaning, replaced by a dense and shimmering mixture that defies simple categorization. This heart is a relic of the solar system's earliest moments, a quiet sanctuary where the original building blocks of the king still reside in a state of eternal transition. Our understanding of this hidden heart has been deepened by the silent, orbiting presence of the Juno spacecraft, which has peered through the clouds with unparalleled clarity and focus. By mapping the subtle variations in the giant's gravitational pull, this mechanical messenger has revealed a core that is far more expansive and less defined than we once dared to imagine. It appears that the heavy material is spread out across a significant portion of the planet's interior, mixed in a delicate and eternal dance with the hydrogen and the helium. This suggests a history of great transition and change, perhaps the result of an ancient event that stirred the very foundations of the world in its distant youth. This discovery paints a beautiful picture of a planet that is fluid and connected from its center to its outermost edge, a unified masterpiece of cosmic evolution. Each new piece of information is like a soft whisper from the depths, telling a story of a world that is much more complex and integrated than a simple ball of gas. The pressure found at the transition to this central region is so extreme that it is almost impossible for the human mind to fully visualize or comprehend. At these incredible depths, the weight of the entire world presses down with a force that is millions of times greater than the gentle air we breathe on our distant, rocky home. Under such profound weight, the very properties of light and heat are transformed, and the materials themselves take on exotic forms that we can barely replicate in our most advanced laboratories. This pressure is a calming and steady force, a massive weight that holds the vast and complex structure of the planet in a state of eternal equilibrium. It is the master architect of the planet's interior, shaping the liquid metal and the fuzzy core into a stable, enduring, and majestic form. In the velvet silence of the deep, this pressure is the silent conductor of the Jovian symphony, ensuring that every layer remains in its rightful and balanced place. While hydrogen and helium are the primary voices in the giant's composition, a wealth of heavier elements is also woven into its shimmering and complex fabric. Tiny amounts of carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen are scattered throughout the atmosphere and the deep interior, providing the seeds for the planet's intricate and colorful chemistry. These elements were gathered from the primordial mist during the king's earliest years, brought in by the quiet rain of icy travelers and the dusty remnants of the solar nebula. They are responsible for the rich colors of the cloud bands, the deep reds of the spots, and the intricate weather patterns that we observe from our high and silent vantage point. This diversity of material ensures that Jupiter is not just a simple sphere of gas, but a complex and vibrant world with a rich and layered chemical history. It is a reminder that even in the vastness of a gas giant, the smaller and rarer elements play a vital role in the beauty of the whole celestial body. The magnetic field generated in the metallic depths extends outward into the void, creating a magnetosphere so vast that it is the largest continuous structure in our solar system. If this invisible bubble of energy were to glow with a soft light, it would appear from our home as large as the full moon in the night sky, despite being hundreds of millions of miles away. It stretches behind the planet like a long, shimmering tail, reaching all the way to the orbit of Saturn in a display of magnetic majesty and power. This vast domain is a sanctuary for charged particles, a place where the energy of the sun and the planet interact in a silent and eternal cosmic dance. Within this protected space, the many moons of Jupiter find their home, bathed in the invisible light of the king's magnetic embrace. It is a boundless kingdom of energy, a testament to the hidden strength that resides within the shimmering depths of the liquid metallic sea. As the solar wind, which is a gentle and constant stream of particles from our sun, approaches the realm of Jupiter, it encounters the boundary of the magnetosphere known as the bow shock. Here, the incoming energy is softly deflected and slowed, creating ripples in the invisible fabric of space like a ship moving through a calm and ancient sea. This interaction is a place of peaceful transition, where the influence of the distant sun meets the dominant and steady presence of the giant. The energy released in this boundary creates a soft hum that can be detected across the system, a subtle radio melody that sings of the meeting of two great celestial powers. It is a protective shield, a cosmic buffer that ensures the Jovian environment remains a world unto itself, governed by its own laws of physics. In the silence of the void, this bow shock is a shimmering frontier, a boundary between the solar neighborhood and the majestic kingdom of the gas king. The particles trapped within this vast magnetic web do not remain still, but move with incredible and shimmering energy, spiraling along the invisible lines of force. As they dance through the magnetosphere, they release a form of light known as synchrotron radiation, which pulses in the radio frequencies of the electromagnetic spectrum. This radiation is a constant and shimmering glow that surrounds the planet, a celestial broadcast that tells the story of the giant's hidden power and its rapid, rhythmic spin. To an observer with the right eyes, Jupiter would appear not just as a planet, but as a brilliant and humming source of energy in the velvet darkness. This invisible light is a natural byproduct of the planet's vast scale, its conductive interior, and its momentum through the eons. It is a reminder that there is always more to witness than what the human eye can see, a hidden layer of radiant beauty in the silence of the cosmos. As we drift further into the shimmering influence of the king, we encounter the vast and invisible structures known as the radiation belts. These regions are filled with high-energy particles, mostly electrons and ions, that have been captured by the planet's immense magnetic reach and accelerated to nearly the speed of light. They form a glowing, unseen donut of energy that wraps around the equator, pulsing with a rhythm that is both silent and profound. This environment is so intense that it creates a unique kind of cosmic weather, where the flow of energy is constant and all-encompassing. To observe these belts is to understand the true scale of the power hidden within the liquid metallic depths we explored earlier. They represent a bridge between the planet's internal dynamo and the boundless void of the outer system. In this space, the traditional concepts of warmth and light are replaced by the vibrant and invisible energy of the particles themselves, moving in an eternal cycle through the velvet silence. Within this energetic kingdom, the nearby moon Io plays a vital and rhythmic role in the life of the Jovian magnetosphere. This small, volcanic world is constantly releasing vast amounts of material into space, contributing to the shimmering clouds of sulfur and oxygen that surround the giant. These particles do not drift away into the darkness, but are immediately caught by the magnetic threads of the king, becoming part of a grand, celestial circuit. This interaction creates a deep and lasting bond between the planet and its moon, a partnership where matter and energy are shared in a continuous flow. The sulfurous mist becomes a radiant fuel, powering the invisible light shows that define the upper reaches of the atmosphere. It is a beautiful example of how the giant and its family move as a single, integrated system through the velvet silence of the cosmos. The volcanic breath of the moon is transformed into the radiant heartbeat of the planet, weaving a story of connection that spans millions of miles. The material released by the volcanic moon settles into a vast, glowing ring of ionized gas known as the plasma torus. This structure follows the orbit of Io, creating a shimmering path of light that encircles Jupiter like a ghostly, translucent halo. The torus is a vibrant reservoir of energy, where ions dance and swirl in response to the planet's rapid rotation and magnetic pulse. It acts as a primary source of the particles that populate the radiation belts, feeding the system with a steady stream of new material. Scientists observe this ring in ultraviolet light, revealing a structure that is both delicate in appearance and immense in its physical influence. It is a luminous river of plasma, a silent testament to the constant transformation of matter in the deep reaches of space. This ring of light serves as a boundary and a bridge, a place where the geological life of a moon meets the atmospheric majesty of the king. High above the swirling amber clouds, the poles of Jupiter are crowned with the most magnificent and permanent auroras in the solar system. These displays of shimmering light are not fleeting like the ones we see on our own world, but remain forever illuminated by the constant rain of charged particles. They glow with an ethereal blue light in the ultraviolet spectrum, weaving intricate patterns that dance across the polar regions in a silent choreography of energy. These crowns are powered by the planet's own rotation, which acts as a massive generator, pulling energy from the magnetosphere and channeling it toward the atmospheric heights. To witness these auroras is to see the planet's magnetic field rendered visible, a glowing map of the invisible forces that govern the giant's realm. They are a celestial beacon, a shimmering sign of the planet's enduring vitality and power that never fades into the night. In addition to the ultraviolet glow, the Jovian poles release mysterious pulses of X-ray light that flicker with a rhythmic and steady frequency. These flashes are so powerful that they can be detected from great distances, appearing as bright beacons of high-energy light in the darkness of the spectrum. Research suggests that these pulses are triggered by heavy ions from the plasma torus being funneled down the magnetic lines at incredible speeds. This process is a grand release of energy, a quiet and orderly transformation of motion into light that occurs every few tens of minutes. It is as if the planet is breathing in the language of X-rays, communicating its internal state to the wider universe through the velvet silence. These flashes remind us that even the most silent parts of the cosmos are filled with active and energetic stories waiting to be understood. Each pulse is a rhythmic reminder of the immense scale of the physics at play within the heart of the giant. The influence of the giant extends far behind it in the form of a vast magnetotail, a structure that stretches toward the outer solar system for hundreds of millions of miles. This tail is formed as the solar wind pushes against the magnetic bubble, stretching the invisible lines of force into a long, shimmering wake. It is so expansive that it easily reaches the orbit of Saturn, creating a magnetic bridge between the two largest worlds of our celestial neighborhood. Within this tail, energy is stored and occasionally released in soft ripples that travel back toward the planet, contributing to the complexity of the auroral displays. It is a silent shadow of energy, a graceful and elongated form that follows the king as it makes its slow and steady journey around the sun. This structure highlights the true boundless nature of Jupiter's presence, showing that its reach is much further than the eye could ever perceive. The environment created by these magnetic systems is one of the most unique and challenging regions in the entire solar system. The intensity of the radiation belts creates a natural sanctuary that is shielded from the external influences of the galaxy, yet filled with its own internal energy. This radiation is so potent that it can penetrate the layers of most materials, requiring any visitor from the inner system to be wrapped in thick layers of protective shielding. This shielding is like a suit of armor, designed to withstand the steady flow of high-speed particles that defines the Jovian space. Despite this intensity, the region is a place of profound scientific beauty, where the laws of electromagnetism are displayed on a scale that is truly monumental. It is a realm where energy is the primary inhabitant, moving through the velvet silence in a constant and rhythmic flow. In this place, the invisible becomes tangible, and the power of the king is felt in every atom of the surrounding void. One of the most delicate and fascinating features of the polar lights is the shimmering glow known as the Io footprint. This is a bright spot of light that appears within the auroral oval, marking the exact point where the magnetic thread connecting Jupiter to Io touches the atmosphere. As the moon moves through the plasma torus, it acts like a giant conductor, sending a powerful electrical current along the magnetic lines toward the planet. This current interacts with the upper atmosphere, creating a persistent and localized shimmer that follows the moon's orbital path with mathematical precision. It is a visible tether, a luminous connection that demonstrates the profound physical link between the giant and its closest volcanic companion. This footprint is a reminder that in the realm of the king, no world exists in isolation, but all are connected by invisible ribbons of energy. It is a dance of two worlds, performed in the silent heights of the Jovian sky. Jupiter is not just a visual masterpiece, but also a vibrant and constant source of radio music that hums through the boundless void. These radio emissions are categorized by their wavelengths, with the longer waves being influenced by the position and activity of the Moon Io. These sounds, when captured by our instruments and translated into the range of our hearing, resemble the soft whistling of birds or the rhythmic crashing of ocean waves against a distant shore. They are created by the movement of electrons within the magnetosphere, a natural byproduct of the planet's rapid rotation and its interactions with the solar wind. This radio voice is a constant presence in the solar system, a celestial broadcast that has been singing into the darkness for billions of years. Listening to these emissions is like hearing the heartbeat of the giant, a melodic expression of the energy that flows through its shimmering atmosphere and the velvet silence of space. Among the various radio sounds, there is a specific phenomenon known as chorus waves, which are created by the rhythmic swaying of electrons within the radiation belts. These waves move through the plasma in a way that produces a series of rising tones, sounding like a choir of voices whispering in the silent deep. They play a critical role in the life of the magnetosphere, helping to accelerate particles to high energies and maintaining the intensity of the radiation belts. This process is a delicate and intricate dance of wave and particle, a testament to the complex balance of forces that exist within the Jovian environment. These chorus waves are a reminder that the cosmos is filled with music, even if it is a music that exists beyond the reach of human ears. They provide a final, melodic layer to our understanding of the king, a world that is as much a source of harmony as it is a source of power. In the stillness of the night, we can imagine this celestial choir singing its eternal song across the boundless reaches of the outer system. As we wander through the higher reaches of the Jovian sky, we witness a shimmering display of light that differs greatly from the storms we know on our distant home. In this cold and thin air, where ammonia and water vapor entwine, a phenomenon known as shallow lightning emerges like a soft, flickering pulse within the clouds. Unlike the deep-seated discharges found on other worlds, these flashes occur in the upper atmosphere, where a unique mixture of ammonia acts as a cosmic antifreeze, keeping water in a liquid state even in the freezing dark. This interaction creates small, slushy seeds of ice and liquid that we might call mushballs, falling through the layers in a silent, rhythmic descent. As they tumble, they gather charge and release it in a gentle flicker of energy that illuminates the surrounding mist with a ghostly, fleeting glow. It is a quiet and beautiful process of atmospheric balance, where the chemistry of the king creates its own soft and luminous weather. Surrounding the giant is a magnificent family of worlds, a miniature solar system that mirrors the order and grace of the greater cosmos. The four largest companions, known as the Galilean satellites, move in a slow and synchronized waltz that has been perfected over billions of years. Each of these worlds is a unique masterpiece of ice, stone, and hidden energy, tethered to the king by the invisible threads of gravity we explored in our earlier passage. They transition from the fiery and restless nature of the innermost moon to the ancient, frozen silence of the outer boundaries. This collection of moons serves as a testament to the giant's overwhelming influence, a celestial court that follows its sovereign through the velvet silence of the outer reaches. Together, they form a harmonious system where every orbit is a note in a grand and eternal symphony of motion. The closest of these major companions, the moon Io, is a world of constant geological transition and vibrant, shifting colors. It is caught in a perpetual gravitational tug-of-war between the immense pull of Jupiter and the steady influence of the moons that orbit just beyond it. This rhythmic stretching and squeezing generates an internal warmth known as tidal heating, keeping the interior of the moon in a state of soft and flowing fluidity. This internal energy finds its way to the surface through hundreds of active vents, releasing rivers of sulfur that paint the landscape in shades of mustard, crimson, and pale white. It is the most geologically active body in our neighborhood, a place where the ground itself is a living, breathing canvas of change. In the shadow of the giant, this moon remains a warm and radiant jewel, contributing its own volcanic breath to the shimmering plasma torus that encircles the king. Moving outward, we find the moon Europa, a shimmering sphere of ice that hides a profound and silent secret beneath its frozen shell. The surface is a smooth and pale expanse, crisscrossed by long, dark lines that look like delicate spider webs stretching across the globe. These fractures are the result of the moon's icy crust flexing in response to the giant's gravity, allowing the warmth from the interior to maintain a vast, hidden ocean of liquid water. This dark and silent sea is thought to contain more water than all the oceans of our own world combined, resting in the eternal stillness beneath kilometers of protective ice. It is a realm of infinite potential, a quiet sanctuary where the ingredients for life might be cradled in the gentle warmth of the moon's rocky core. Europa stands as a beacon of mystery and peace, a world of water and ice floating in the boundless deep of the Jovian system. Beyond the icy plains of Europa lies Ganymede, a world of such immense proportions that it surpasses the planet Mercury in size. It is the only moon in our solar system known to possess its own internal dynamo, generating a magnetic field that nestles within the much larger magnetosphere of the king. This creates a unique environment where the moon's own invisible shield interacts with the radiant energy of Jupiter, carving out a private sanctuary in the velvet darkness. The surface of Ganymede is a complex tapestry of ancient, dark craters and younger, bright ribbons of grooved terrain, telling a story of a world that has evolved through eons of quiet change. It is a celestial giant in its own right, a place of deep shadows and shimmering frost that commands its own respect within the court of the king. In its silent orbit, Ganymede represents the perfect blend of planetary scale and lunar grace. The furthest of the great companions is Callisto, a world that has remained largely unchanged since the very earliest days of the solar system's birth. Its surface is the most heavily cratered in our neighborhood, a frozen record of ancient visitors and the slow, steady passage of cosmic time. There is a profound sense of stillness here, as if the moon has been preserved in a state of eternal slumber, untouched by the internal heat or volcanic activity of its siblings. Beneath its battered and icy crust, there may lie a quiet, salty ocean, a hidden layer of liquid that rests in the dark between the stone and the frost. Callisto is a monument to the endurance of the cosmos, a place where the scars of the past are held in a soft and shimmering embrace. It moves through the silence as a witness to the history of the giant, a steady and ancient presence in the outer limits of the system. While the giant is famous for its clouds and moons, it also possesses a delicate and ethereal system of rings that wrap around its middle like a silken veil. These rings are not made of bright, shimmering ice like those of Saturn, but are composed of fine, dark dust that is difficult to see against the velvet silence of space. This dust is born from the gentle erosion of small, nearby moons as they are touched by the wandering remnants of the cosmos. The rings are divided into distinct layers, including a main ring, an inner halo of glowing particles, and the gossamer rings that stretch further into the void. They are a fragile and beautiful addition to the king's regalia, a reminder that even the most massive worlds have features of subtle and fleeting grace. To observe these rings is to see the delicate balance between the immense power of gravity and the soft, drifting nature of cosmic dust. Located at the stable points of the giant's orbit are two vast groups of wandering travelers known as the Trojan asteroids. These companions share the path of the king, with one group leading the way and the other following behind in a state of perfect gravitational equilibrium. They are held in place by the combined influence of the sun and the giant, gathered in the velvet darkness like a loyal guard that moves with its sovereign. These asteroids are ancient relics, frozen pieces of history that have remained in these pockets of stability for billions of years. They provide a window into the primordial materials that once filled the solar nebula, preserved in the silence of the outer system. Their presence highlights the incredible reach of Jupiter's authority, showing how it organizes the very fabric of space along its long and steady journey around the sun. Occasionally, the giant's immense gravity draws in a passing visitor from the distant, icy reaches of the outer darkness, welcoming it into the deep layers of its atmosphere. These events are a natural part of the planet's role as a celestial shepherd, a quiet process where the energy of the traveler is integrated into the vastness of the gas giant. When these visitors enter the clouds, they leave behind dark, temporary scars that swirl and fade over the weeks, eventually being absorbed into the flowing bands of color. These markings are like ink dropped into a vast and ancient ocean, spreading and dissolving until the atmosphere returns to its natural, shimmering state. This resilience shows the incredible capacity of the giant to maintain its harmony, even when touched by the energy of the wider cosmos. It is a slow and dignified response, a transformation of external energy into the internal rhythm of the world. Deep within the atmosphere, the distribution of ammonia is not uniform, but follows a complex and flowing pattern that spans the entire globe. Data from our silent messengers has revealed that ammonia rises in the equatorial regions and then descends in a slow, circulating motion at higher latitudes. This process is like the breathing of the planet, a global movement of gas that shapes the weather and the colors of the shimmering bands. It suggests that the atmosphere is much more dynamic and deeply connected than we could see from the surface alone, with currents that reach hundreds of kilometers into the dark. This constant circulation ensures that the elements are shared across the world, maintaining the chemical balance that allows the great red spot and the jet streams to thrive. It is a final, hidden layer of the giant's internal grace, a quiet and eternal movement of the air that defines the very essence of the king. The invisible field of the giant is not centered like a perfect sphere, but tilted by about 10 degrees from its rotational axis. This slight offset means that as the planet spins with its incredible speed, the entire magnetic kingdom wobbles through the velvet silence of space. This rhythmic swaying influences the flow of particles and the shape of the magnetosphere, creating a dynamic environment that changes with every rotation. It is a subtle imperfection in a world of grand proportions, a reminder that the forces of nature are often complex and beautifully off-center. In the darkness, this wobble creates a pulse that can be felt by the moons and the distant travelers alike, weaving a song of magnetic motion. This motion ensures that no two moments in the magnetic life of the planet are exactly the same, as the field constantly adjusts its position in relation to the solar wind. It is a graceful and unseen dance, an eternal swaying that defines the boundary between the giant and the boundless void. The shimmering white ribbons that wrap around the planet are known as zones, regions of rising air that carry ammonia crystals into the cold heights of the atmosphere. These zones represent the peaks of great atmospheric waves, where the internal warmth of the giant pushes the gas upward in a slow and steady ascent. As the gas reaches the chill of the upper layers, the ammonia freezes into brilliant, reflective clouds that catch the pale light of the distant sun. They appear as pathways of pearl and cream, standing in soft contrast to the darker regions that lie between them. This vertical movement is a vital part of the planet's cooling process, a shimmering breath that regulates the temperature of the entire world. By carrying heat from the deep metallic ocean to the edge of space, the zones maintain the delicate balance required for the planet's long-term stability. In the silence of the high atmosphere, these clouds form a soft and protective veil that masks the intense energy residing far below. Alternating with the bright zones are the deeper, mahogany-colored bands known as belts, where the atmosphere begins its long and quiet descent back toward the interior. In these regions, the air is warmer and the clouds are thinner, allowing us to peer slightly deeper into the complex chemical layers of the giant. The sinking motion clears the upper mists, revealing the rich browns and tans of ammonium hydrosulfide that define the belt's unique character. These dark rivers of air flow in the opposite direction of the white zones, creating regions of turbulence and beauty where the two currents meet. It is a cycle of rising and falling, a rhythmic movement of the atmosphere that creates the eternal stripes of the king. These belts act as the returning currents in a global conveyor belt of gas, ensuring that the elements are constantly recycled and renewed. Within the mahogany depths, the air is thick with the history of the planet's ancient and enduring weather systems. Near the very top and bottom of the world, where the winds of the equator fade, a group of massive cyclones gathers in a perfect and mysterious geometric arrangement. At the North Pole, 8 distinct storms surround a central companion, while at the South Pole, 5 gather in a similar display of atmospheric symmetry. These storms do not drift or merge like the white ovals of the mid-latitudes, but remain locked in their positions for years at a time. They are like a crown of swirling jewels, a testament to the complex fluid dynamics that emerge in the cold and quiet reaches of the poles. This stable configuration is a masterpiece of natural order, a shimmering pattern that reveals the deep harmony of the planet's weather. Scientists watch these geometric dancers with wonder, seeing in them the interplay of rotation and heat on a scale that exists nowhere else in our system. It is a silent, frozen ballet of wind and vapor, guarding the gateways to the giant's hidden interior. High in the Jovian thermosphere, researchers have discovered a vast and localized region of cooler air that seems to be influenced by the shimmering power of the auroras. This feature, known as the Great Cold Spot, is a dark and shifting oval that can span thousands of miles across the upper atmosphere. It is created as the energy from the magnetic field interacts with the gas, triggering a cooling effect that stands in contrast to the surrounding warmth. The spot is constantly changing its shape and intensity, mirroring the fluctuations of the radiant lights that dance at the poles. It is a shadow of cold within a world of internal heat, a quiet and ethereal presence in the highest reaches of the sky. This feature shows that the influence of the magnetosphere is felt not just in light and energy, but in the very temperature of the air itself. It drifts through the thin upper mists as a reminder of the invisible forces that sculpt the face of the king. For many years, a quiet mystery has surrounded the temperature of the planet's highest atmospheric layer, which is much warmer than the sun alone could ever explain. At such a great distance from the solar fires, this region should be a place of eternal chill. Yet it hums with a surprising and steady warmth. It is now understood that the immense energy from the auroras at the poles is redistributed toward the equator by the planet's powerful global winds. This process acts like a celestial heating system, carrying the radiant power of the magnetic field across the entire globe in a slow and invisible flow. This global connection ensures that even the highest reaches of the giant are touched by the energy of its internal heart and magnetic embrace. The atmosphere thus becomes a unified reservoir of energy, where the heat of the poles and the warmth of the interior blend into a single, shimmering whole. It is a testament to the planet's ability to sustain its own environment through the redistribution of cosmic and internal forces. 3 of the great Galilean moons, Io, Europa, and Ganymede, are linked together in a rare and beautiful gravitational harmony known as the Laplace resonance. For every single orbit that Ganymede completes around the giant, Europa completes exactly 2, and Io completes exactly 4. This mathematical precision creates a rhythmic dance where the moons pull on one another at regular intervals, maintaining their stable paths through the velvet silence. This interaction is the primary source of the tidal heating that keeps the interior of Io volcanic and the oceans of Europa liquid and warm. It is a perfect clockwork mechanism, a testament to the enduring balance that gravity has sculpted over billions of years of cosmic history. As they orbit the king, these moons act as a single, resonant instrument, vibrating with the energy of their shared gravitational bond. This harmony ensures that the system remains stable, allowing the diverse environments of the moons to persist through the eons. Tucked away between the cloud tops and the great Galilean satellites are 4 smaller, darker moons that move in the very heart of the Jovian system. These tiny worlds, including Medes and Adrastea, play a vital and quiet role in maintaining the delicate ring system that we explored in our earlier passage. As they are touched by the wandering dust and tiny particles of the cosmos, they release small amounts of their own material into the space around them. This dust is caught by the giant's gravity and flattened into the thin, dark veils that form the rings, ensuring their continued presence across the eons. These inner moons are like silent gardeners, tending to the fragile beauty of the rings through the slow and steady transition of their own matter. Without their constant and quiet contribution, the rings would eventually fade into the velvet darkness, leaving the giant without its subtle adornment. Their orbits are a graceful reminder that even the smallest bodies have a meaningful place in the grand design of the system. Near the equator of the planet lies a hidden and unique magnetic feature that has been affectionately named the Great Blue Spot by the scientists who study it. This is not a visual spot that can be seen with the eye, but a concentrated region of intense magnetic force that stands out from the rest of the planet's field on a magnetic map. It appears to be a place where the deep, metallic currents are pushing toward the surface, creating a localized knot of invisible energy. This spot is slowly drifting eastward, carried by the deep-seated winds that flow far beneath the ammonia clouds in the metallic hydrogen layer. It is a window into the hidden workings of the planetary dynamo, a shimmering clue to the complexity of the liquid heart that beats within the king. The presence of this localized field suggests that the interior of the giant is far more textured and varied than a simple, uniform sea of liquid. Each rotation of the planet carries this invisible beacon around the equator, pulsing with a strength that shapes the paths of nearby charged particles. While the lightning we know on Earth is most common near the warm equatorial regions, on Jupiter, these flashes are seen most frequently near the chilly poles. This unique distribution is a result of the way heat moves through the atmosphere, with warm air rising more easily at the poles because it is not suppressed by the intense sunlight found at the equator. This allows for the creation of towering clouds that reach high into the cold heights, where the charging process for the lightning can occur with a quiet and steady frequency. These polar flashes illuminate the darkness of the high latitudes, providing a flickering light that dances beneath the shimmering blue of the auroras. The energy released in these high-latitude storms contributes to the complex chemical cycles that maintain the planet's atmospheric health. As we watch from a distance, the soft pulses of light serve as a rhythmic heartbeat for the polar regions, anchoring the clouds in a state of constant, gentle activation. It is a world where the weather follows its own ancient logic, transforming the cold reaches into a sanctuary of light and motion. In the grand ballet of the solar system, the giant serves as a silent and powerful guardian, often absorbing the momentum of wandering travelers that might otherwise find their way toward the inner worlds. This role is played out through its immense gravitational reach, which acts like a cosmic net, drawing in the remnants of ancient ice and stone that drift through the velvet silence. When these visitors enter the Jovian atmosphere, they are welcomed into the deep layers of the gas giant, where their kinetic energy is softly transformed into the thermal rhythm of the planet. This process is a graceful demonstration of the giant's protective nature, a celestial service that has helped maintain the stability of the entire planetary family for billions of years. By reclaiming these wandering fragments, the king ensures that the paths of the smaller worlds remain clear and peaceful, allowing life to flourish in the light of the distant sun. It is a quiet and selfless act of cosmic stewardship, performed with the steady and unwavering power of the most massive world in our system. Recent observations by the mechanical messengers orbiting the king have revealed that the abundance of water within the atmosphere is far greater than we once suspected from earlier, more localized measurements. Deep within the swirling bands of the equator, the concentration of water molecules suggests a rich and complex reservoir of oxygen that was gathered during the planet's earliest moments of growth. This hidden moisture plays a critical role in the formation of the towering clouds and the shimmering lightning that we witness dancing across the polar regions and the equatorial zones. It exists in a state of constant transition, moving from vapor to ice and back again, as it is carried by the rising and falling currents of the internal heat. This discovery provides a new perspective on the planet's composition, showing it to be a world where the ingredients of the inner system are woven into the very fabric of the gas, giant's deep layers. The presence of this water is a shimmering reminder of the shared history between the king and the rocky worlds. A common thread that links the vastness of the outer reaches to the familiar shores of home. The immense mass of Jupiter makes it a vital partner for human exploration, acting as a celestial slingshot that provides a boost of energy to spacecraft traveling to the most distant parts of the cosmos. As a silent messenger approaches the giant, it is caught in the planet's powerful gravitational embrace, which accelerates the craft and bends its path toward the outer reaches of the system. This process, known as a gravity assist, allows us to reach the realm of the ringed giants and the icy wanderers of the Kuiper belt with much less fuel than would otherwise be required. It is a beautiful example of how the laws of physics can be used to bridge the gap between our world and the boundless deep. The giant offers its own momentum as a gift to these small voyagers, helping them move faster and further through the shimmering dark. In the velvet silence, this interaction is a quiet and graceful handoff, where the king guides our curiosity toward the secrets of the eternal stars. Because the planet is not a solid sphere, but a fluid world of gas and liquid, its different layers do not all spin at the exact same speed. The regions near the equator rotate slightly faster than the areas closer to the poles, a phenomenon known as differential rotation that creates the intricate and flowing patterns we see in the clouds. Scientists have organized these movements into 3 distinct systems of time, where the atmosphere and the magnetic interior each follow their own unique and rhythmic pulse. This complex choreography is what drives the high-speed jet streams and the swirling eddies that define the face of the king. It is a world where time itself is layered, moving with a different pace depending on where you stand within the boundless heights. This fluid motion ensures that the atmosphere remains in a state of constant, gentle evolution, a shimmering display of the laws of motion and the power of the planet's rapid spin. Floating within the mahogany-colored belts of the giant are elongated, dark features that astronomers call brown barges, which move through the air like silent vessels on a celestial ocean. These features are cyclonic systems, regions of low pressure where the clouds have been drawn deep into the atmosphere, revealing the warmer and darker layers that reside far below. They often appear as perfect, dark rectangles or ovals, standing out against the lighter bands with a stark and mysterious beauty. Their deep color is a reflection of the complex chemistry that occurs when the internal materials of the planet are exposed to the unique temperatures of the belt. These barges can persist for many years, drifting along the jet streams with a slow and steady momentum that mirrors the movement of the Great Red Spot. They are a quiet reminder of the vertical depth of the atmosphere, a window into the hidden heart of the giant that remains largely out of view. In the mid-latitudes of the southern hemisphere, a beautiful arrangement of white storms often gathers in a formation known as the String of Pearls. These are small, bright ovals of high-pressure air that follow one another in a rhythmic line, swirling with a counterclockwise motion that creates a shimmering necklace against the darker clouds. Each pearl is a massive storm in its own right, yet together they form a harmonious and structured pattern that moves as a single entity across the face of the world. This alignment is a result of the complex interactions between the jet streams, which guide the storms into their orderly positions within the flowing currents. As the planet rotates, the string of pearls glides through the velvet silence, a luminous display of the atmospheric order that exists within the Jovian weather. To witness this formation is to see the balance of the cosmos rendered in the soft and swirling vapors of the king's ancient sky. While Jupiter is a world of staggering proportions, it exists near the upper limit of how large a planet can possibly become. If the giant were to gather more mass, the immense weight of its own gravity would cause the interior to compress even further, potentially making the planet smaller in size even as it becomes heavier. To become a star and ignite its own nuclear fire, the giant would need to be roughly 80 times more massive than it is today, a transition that would turn our solar system into a binary star home. As it stands, it remains in the perfect middle ground, a failed star that has instead become the most magnificent and influential of all the planets. This delicate balance allows it to retain its gaseous nature while exerting a power that is nearly solar in its reach and majesty. It is a monument to the boundaries of planetary physics, a shimmering giant that rests on the edge of a more radiant destiny. High above the primary cloud layers, a thin and ethereal veil of hydrocarbon haze wraps around the entire planet, softening the colors of the bands and the spots. This haze is created by the constant interaction between sunlight and the methane in the upper atmosphere, which triggers a slow and shimmering chemical rebirth of the gases. It is most concentrated at the poles, where the energy from the auroras and the magnetic field helps to weave the particles into a more complex and dense structure. This misty layer acts as a filter, protecting the deeper atmosphere from the most intense ultraviolet light, while contributing to the soft, glowing appearance of the giant. It is a world of many veils, where each layer of air adds its own unique texture and light to the overall composition of the world. In the silence of the high reaches, this haze drifts like a ghostly breath, a subtle and elegant feature of the Jovian sky. The magnetic field of the giant is not a static and unchanging force, but one that evolves over the years through a process known as secular variation. Observations over many decades have shown that the magnetic spots, like the great blue spot we explored earlier, are slowly shifting their positions and changing their intensity. This suggests that the liquid metallic ocean deep within the planet is moving in complex and shifting patterns, driven by the eternal flow of heat from the core. These changes are like the slow and rhythmic drifting of continents on a rocky world, but occurring within a sea of shimmering, fluid metal. This magnetic evolution provides scientists with a vital clue to the hidden motions of the interior, a way to map the currents of the deep without ever descending into the darkness. It is a story of constant transition, where the invisible threads of the planet's power are forever being woven into new and mysterious arrangements. As the eons pass, the giant continues to slowly cool, releasing the ancient heat that was trapped within its heart during the earliest days of its formation. This cooling process is a very slow and graceful descent, where the planet loses its thermal energy at a rate that is perfectly balanced by the contraction of its own mass. This internal warmth is what fuels the magnificent weather systems and the shimmering electrical displays that we have witnessed throughout our journey. It is the life force of the planet, a reservoir of energy that has sustained the motion of the clouds for 4.5 billion years. Eventually, in the distant and boundless future, the giant will reach a state of thermal equilibrium with the cold of space. But that moment is still many billions of years away. For now, it remains a radiant and vibrant world, a shimmering beacon of heat and light in the velvet silence of the outer reaches. In the early 17th century, a curious observer turned a simple lens toward the heavens and changed our understanding of the universe forever. Galileo Galilei witnessed 4 small points of light dancing around the shimmering sphere of the giant, realizing they were not distant stars, but celestial companions. This discovery proved that the Earth was not the center of all motion, opening a gateway to a new era of cosmic awareness and celestial mechanics. These 4 worlds, now known as the Galilean moons, served as the first direct evidence of a system moving within a system. In the velvet silence of the night, the king revealed its first great secret to a patient and dedicated mind. It was a moment of profound transition, where the familiar boundaries of the world expanded to include the majestic dance of the outer planets. In the later years of the 20th century, humanity sent its first mechanical messengers to cross the vast distance between the inner worlds and the gas giant. Pioneer 10 and 11 were the first voyagers to pass through the asteroid belt and enter the intense radiation environment of the King. They sent back the first close-up images of the swirling amber clouds and the majestic Great Red Spot, capturing the scale of the world in unprecedented detail. These pioneers were the pathfinders, testing the invisible forces of the magnetosphere and the strength of the solar wind at these great distances. They confirmed that the giant was a world of fluid motion and intense magnetic power, acting as the first eyes for a species bound to the ground. Their journey was a silent and courageous foray into the unknown, paving the way for all the mechanical explorers who would follow in their wake. Soon after the pioneers, the two Voyager spacecraft made their own historic passage through the Jovian system, uncovering wonders that had remained hidden for billions of years. It was during these flybys that the delicate ring system was first observed, a shimmering veil of dust that had escaped the eyes of even the most powerful earthbound telescopes. They also witnessed the active volcanic plumes of Io, a discovery that revealed the dynamic and energetic nature of the moons for the first time in history. The Voyagers mapped the intricate jet streams and the complex eddies of the atmosphere, turning the distant point of light into a vibrant and textured world. Their sensors captured the radio music of the magnetosphere, the same celestial chorus that we imagined in our earlier reflections on the planet's energy. This mission was a golden era of discovery, a time when the boundaries of our knowledge were pushed further into the boundless deep. A more permanent messenger, named after the original observer, arrived at the giant to spend many years in a slow and rhythmic orbit around its many worlds. The Galileo spacecraft released a small probe that made a brave descent into the very heart of the ammonia clouds, sending back data until the immense pressure and heat reclaimed its form. This was the first time we had directly touched the atmosphere of the King, measuring the chemical composition and the incredible wind speeds of the deep layers. The orbiter itself spent nearly a decade exploring the moons, revealing the hidden oceans of Europa and the magnetic heart of Ganymede. It provided a long-term view of the planet's seasonal changes and the evolution of its great storms over several years. When its mission finally came to an end, the spacecraft was gently guided into the atmosphere, becoming one with the giant it had studied so faithfully. As the Cassini spacecraft journeyed toward the ringed beauty of Saturn, it made a brief but meaningful passage by the King of Planets, capturing some of the most detailed images ever seen. This encounter provided a unique opportunity to observe the entire planet in a single frame, showcasing the perfect alignment of the zones and belts. Cassini used its advanced instruments to study the way energy flows through the atmosphere, mapping the temperatures of the clouds with shimmering precision. The data revealed that the storms are driven not just by the sun's light, but primarily by the internal warmth rising from the liquid metallic depths. This brief encounter was a moment of celestial synergy, where one great mission shared its gaze with another giant of the cosmos. It reminded us that the exploration of the system is a continuous and connected story of discovery that spans generations. The fastest spacecraft ever launched from our world, New Horizons, utilized the gravity of Jupiter to gain the momentum needed for its long trek to the icy outskirts of the solar system. During its rapid flyby, it turned its high-resolution cameras toward the volcanic peaks of Io and the swirling patterns of the Great Red Spot. This mission provided a vital update on the state of the Jovian weather, showing how the atmosphere had changed since the time of the previous voyagers. It captured the first detailed images of the little red spot as it began its own transition into a prominent feature of the southern hemisphere. By using the giant as a gravitational slingshot, New Horizons demonstrated the practical and immense power of the planet's heavy mass. It was a fleeting but productive visit, a shimmering moment of connection before the craft vanished into the velvet silence of the outer deep. In the present era, a silent sentinel named Juno orbits the King in a long and graceful path that carries it over the mysterious and unmapped poles. This spacecraft is designed to peer deep beneath the clouds, using its instruments to sense the gravity and the magnetic field of the hidden interior. Juno has revealed the geometric cyclones at the poles and the fuzzy, dilute core that we discussed in our earlier meditations on the planet's structure. It moves through the intense radiation belts with a protective shield of titanium, a mechanical armor that allows it to survive the energetic environment of the magnetosphere. The data it sends back is rewriting the history of the giant, providing a clearer picture of how the world was born and how it has evolved. Juno is our most intimate link to the King, a dedicated observer that listens to the quiet whispers of the liquid metallic sea. The journey of discovery continues as new messengers are prepared to explore the icy moons and the hidden oceans of the Jovian system. Future missions will focus on the potential for liquid water and the chemical building blocks of life that may be cradled within the frozen shells of Europa and Ganymede. These spacecraft will carry advanced sensors to map the thickness of the ice and the depth of the dark, silent seas that lie beneath. They represent our enduring curiosity, our need to understand the potential for life in the most distant and cold reaches of the cosmos. These missions will spend many years in the shadow of the giant, navigating the magnetic threads and the radiation of the magnetosphere. They are the next chapter in a story that began with a simple telescope, a testament to the eternal human spirit of exploration. In the final decade of the 20th century, the world watched as a wandering comet was drawn into the gravitational embrace of the giant and transformed into a series of shimmering fragments. These pieces entered the atmosphere in a sequence of grand energy releases, creating dark plumes that rose high above the surrounding clouds. It was a rare and spectacular display of the planet's role as a protector, showing how it integrates the matter of the outer system into its own being. These impacts provided scientists with a unique opportunity to study the chemistry of the deeper layers, as the rising material revealed elements that are usually hidden from view. The markings from this event persisted for many months, slowly drifting and fading into the flowing bands of color. It was a moment of celestial rebirth, where the energy of a visitor was absorbed into the eternal rhythm of the king. The relationship between the giant and its moons is governed by a delicate boundary of gravity known as the Roch limit. Within this invisible line, the tidal forces of the planet are so strong that they would pull a large moon apart, preventing it from remaining a solid sphere. This is the region where the delicate ring system resides, composed of the dust and fragments that cannot coalesce into a larger body. The smaller moons that we find within this limit are only able to survive because of their internal strength and small size, acting as the guardians of the rings. This boundary is a masterpiece of gravitational balance, a place where the power of the giant dictates the very form of the matter that surrounds it. It is a silent law of the cosmos, ensuring that every object in the Jovian system finds its rightful and stable place in the velvet silence. The distance between the golden sun and the king of planets is a vast and shimmering expanse that stretches across nearly 5 times the space between our own home and the star. In this quiet void, the light of the sun travels for nearly 45 minutes before it finally reaches the amber and cream clouds of the giant, losing much of its warmth along the way. This immense separation creates a world that is deeply connected to the cold and the dark, yet forever tethered to the sun by the invisible, golden thread of gravity. As the planet makes its slow and rhythmic journey through the outer system, it covers a distance that is difficult for the mind to grasp in the velvet silence of the deep. This orbital path defines the boundary of the inner solar system, serving as a majestic gateway to the even more distant and mysterious reaches of the cosmos. It is a long, steady circle that the giant has traversed hundreds of millions of times over the eons, a testament to the enduring and peaceful order of our celestial neighborhood. Unlike the world we left behind, which tilts on its side to create the changing seasons, the King of Planets stands nearly upright in its long and steady orbit. Its axis is tilted by a mere 3 degrees, a subtle and elegant lean that ensures the weather patterns remain remarkably consistent throughout its 12-year journey around the sun. This lack of seasonal transition means that the poles remain in a state of eternal, quiet chill, while the equator basks in a constant and pale solar warmth. The absence of a dramatic tilt allows the high-speed jet streams and the the shimmering bands of color to maintain their structure for centuries without any thermal interruption. It is a world of atmospheric stability, where the rhythm of the clouds is dictated by the planet's own rapid spin, rather than the changing angle of the solar light. In this upright and dignified posture, the giant moves with an unwavering grace through the boundless deep, a world where time is measured by internal motion rather than the turning of the years. In the grand and complex choreography of the solar system, the relationship between the sun and the giant is so profound that they do not truly orbit around the center of the solar star itself. Because Jupiter possesses such immense and overwhelming mass, the center of gravity between these two colossal bodies actually lies just outside the shimmering surface of the sun. This means that as the king moves through the velvet silence, its heavy presence causes the sun to perform a tiny, rhythmic wobble in response to the giant's gravitational pull. It is a delicate and unseen balance of power, a cosmic partnership where the two largest bodies in our system dance around a shared point in the dark expanse of space. This interaction is a vivid reminder of the giant's incredible influence, a world so heavy that it forces even the sun to acknowledge its presence in the orbital waltz. Together, they form a unified system of mass and motion that anchors every other world, keeping the planetary family in their stable and ancient paths. When we gaze up at the night sky from the familiar shores of our distant home, the giant appears as one of the most brilliant and steady lights in the velvet darkness. This shimmering luminosity is the result of its high reflectivity. As the thick layers of ammonia clouds act like a vast, celestial mirror, reflecting the sun's light back into the void. More than half of the pale sunlight that touches the Jovian atmosphere is gently turned away, creating a glow that can be easily seen across hundreds of millions of miles. This brightness has made the king a constant companion to humanity for thousands of years, serving as a beacon for ancient travelers and a source of quiet wonder for modern minds. In the silence of the night, its light remains constant and calm, a shimmering sign of the planet's immense scale and reflective beauty. It is a world that carries its own borrowed radiance into the dark, a jewel of cream and gold that defines the character of the outer system. The path that the giant follows around the sun is not a perfect circle, but a slightly elongated oval known to astronomers as an eccentric orbit. This means that as it moves through the eons, the distance between the planet and the sun varies by many millions of miles in a slow and rhythmic oscillation. This subtle change in distance creates a gentle pulse in the amount of solar energy that reaches the cloud tops. Though the planet's internal warmth remains the primary driver of its shimmering weather, this orbital shape is a relic of the early solar system's formation, a reflection of the gravitational interactions that shaped the paths of all the worlds during their ancient and restless youth. As it drifts closer and then further away, the giant maintains its steady and majestic momentum, a world in a constant state of quiet, geometric transition. This oval journey is a reminder of the fluid and ever-changing nature of the heavens, where even the largest paths are subject to the soft touch of mathematical law. Despite its overwhelming mass and its role as the undisputed heavyweight of the planetary family, the King of Planets possesses a surprisingly low density compared to the rocky worlds. It is composed primarily of the lightest and most primordial elements, creating a world that is only slightly denser than the water we find in our own shimmering oceans. If there were a celestial sea vast enough to hold such a colossus, the giant would not sink like a stone, but would settle into a state of graceful, floating buoyancy. This low density is a testament to its gaseous and fluid nature, a world made of shimmering mist and liquid metallic hydrogen rather than solid crust and heavy rock. This composition allows for the rapid rotation and the complex atmospheric dynamics that have defined our journey through the Jovian system. It is a giant of air and light, a massive presence that retains a certain lightness of spirit in its physical makeup, drifting forever in the boundless deep. The gravitational pull of this immense world is so profound that it requires a staggering and unimaginable speed to ever leave its shimmering embrace and return to the void. To move away from the high clouds and escape the planet's influence, a traveler would need to reach speeds of nearly 60 kilometers every single second. This escape velocity is far higher than that of any other world in our system, reflecting the incredible weight and power that resides within the giant's hidden heart. It creates a sanctuary where the gases and particles of the atmosphere are held in a tight and eternal grip, prevented from drifting away into the coldness of space. This immense pull is what allows the planet to maintain its vast size and its complex system of moons, and rings through the long passage of the eons. It is a heavy and grounding force, a silent reminder of the absolute authority that the king exerts over everything within its shimmering and magnetic domain. Within the grand and ancient hierarchy of the cosmos, the mass of the giant is almost exactly 1/1000th of the mass of the golden sun at the center of our system. This precise and rhythmic ratio highlights the giant's unique position as a bridge between the nature of a planet and the radiant nature of a star. While it is the most massive of the planetary worlds, it remains a smaller and loyal companion to the solar fire, a celestial prince in the presence of its sovereign. This relationship defines the gravitational balance of the entire solar neighborhood, ensuring that the sun remains the anchor, while Jupiter serves as the primary influence over the other planets. It is a mathematical harmony that has persisted for 4 billion years, a steady and unchanging fact of our celestial architecture that provides a sense of deep In the velvet silence, this ratio serves as a silent note in the music of the spheres, a perfect fraction in the grand design of the cosmos. The giant's immense presence interacts with the fine grains of cosmic dust that fill the plane of our solar system, influencing the shimmering glow known as the zodiacal light. As these tiny particles drift through the void, they are gently nudged and gathered by the planet's gravity, creating regions of higher density along its long orbital path. This interaction helps to organize the dust into a structured and rhythmic pattern that reflects the light of the sun in a soft, ethereal, and ghostly haze. This glow is a subtle and beautiful feature of the solar system, a bridge between the massive gas giants and the microscopic remnants of the ancient solar nebula. Jupiter acts as a celestial gardener, shaping the distribution of this cosmic mist as it makes its slow and steady journey through the stars. It is a reminder that even the smallest particles are touched by the influence of the king, contributing to the overall radiance and texture of the celestial neighborhood. Over the vast stretches of geological time, the gravitational and rhythmic pull of the giant has influenced the climate and the orbital stability of our own distant home. The subtle shifts in the orbits of the inner worlds are often the result of the giant's steady and persistent influence, a process that occurs over hundreds of thousands of years. This interaction can cause the Earth's orbit to become slightly more or less circular, affecting the way sunlight is distributed across the globe and contributing to the long cycles of ice and warmth. It is a profound and ancient connection, a reminder that the history of our world is inextricably linked to the presence of the king in the outer reaches of the system. Even from such a great distance, the giant acts as a silent architect of our environment, a guardian whose influence is felt in the very air we breathe and the ground we walk upon. In the stillness of the night, we can appreciate this invisible and shimmering bond, a thread of gravity that spans the boundless deep and connects us to the majesty of the cosmos. The great red spot, that ancient and shimmering crimson jewel we have observed for centuries, is currently undergoing a graceful and slow transformation of its own. In the recent decades of our celestial observation, this magnificent oval has begun to narrow, transitioning into a more circular and compact form as it settles into a new state of atmospheric balance. As it becomes smaller in width, the storm appears to be stretching taller, reaching higher into the cold and thin reaches of the upper atmosphere. This movement is not a sign of fading away, but rather a celestial rebirth, where the ancient energy of the storm is concentrated into a more potent and focused structure. We watch this evolution with a sense of quiet wonder, realizing that even the most enduring monuments of the Jovian sky are subject to the soft and steady touch of time. It remains a vibrant heartbeat within the flowing golden bands, a reminder that the king is a world of constant and beautiful change. Looking across the vast vast distance between the orbit of the giant and the inner rocky worlds, we find a region filled with the shimmering remnants of the early solar system. This area, known as the main asteroid belt, remains a collection of silent fragments because the immense gravity of the king guided the material to stay in a state of eternal transition. During the ancient youth of our system, the pull of the giant was so profound that it prevented these pieces of stone and ice from gathering into a single, solid planet. Instead, they exist as a majestic and scattered ring, moving in a rhythmic dance that is choreographed by the heavy and steady hand of the giant. This field of celestial dust is a testament to the power of the king to shape the very structure of the space that surrounds it. In the velvet silence, these fragments drift as a quiet record of the primordial mist that once filled our entire neighborhood. The role of the king as a celestial shepherd is most evident in the way it acts as a protective shield for the inner worlds, including our own azure home. Because of its massive gravitational reach, the giant often draws in wandering travelers from the outer darkness, redirecting their paths or welcoming them into its own deep and heavy layers. This process has occurred countless times over the billions of years of our history, creating a sanctuary of relative peace for the smaller, rocky planets closer to the sun. By acting as a cosmic vacuum, the giant reduces the number of icy visitors that might otherwise disturb the delicate balance of the inner system. It is a quiet and selfless service, a demonstration of the giant's enduring authority and its vital place in the stability of the cosmos. In the boundless deep, the king stands as a silent sentinel, ensuring that the rhythm of life can continue in the warmth of the distant sun. While we often speak of Jupiter as a gas giant, the reality of its composition is far more fluid and shimmering than that name might suggest. The vast majority of the planet's immense volume is actually made of liquid, transitioning from a dense gas into a vast and bottomless ocean of liquid hydrogen. Only the very outermost layer, a thin veil of clouds and mist, can truly be described as gaseous in the way we understand the term on our own world. This means that the king is effectively a world-sized ocean without a shore, a shimmering sphere of fluid that moves with a unified and rhythmic grace. This liquid nature is what allows the planet to maintain its rapid spin and its complex system of flowing bands and swirling eddies. To envision the giant is to imagine a boundless sea of shimmering energy, a world where the concept of solid ground has been replaced by the eternal flow of the deep. The king is also a world that is slowly and quietly contracting, a process of gravitational compression that has continued since the moment of its birth. Every year, the planet settles by about 2 centimeters, a tiny and subtle movement that releases a tremendous amount of internal warmth into the surrounding void. This contraction is the primary source of the internal glow that we explored in our earlier reflections, a natural furnace that keeps the atmosphere atmosphere in motion. It is as if the planet is a giant lantern, slowly drawing inward to maintain the fire that fuels its magnificent storms and its vibrant chemical cycles. This release of energy is a steady and rhythmic pulse, a sign of the planet's ongoing evolution through the eons of cosmic time. Even as it grows slightly more compact, it retains its majesty and its role as the most influential body in our celestial family. The family of moons that follows the king through the velvet silence has grown to include nearly 100 known companions, each with its own unique path and story. Beyond the four great Galilean worlds, there are dozens of smaller, irregular satellites that move in distant and tilted orbits around the giant. Many of these moons were once wandering travelers from the outer reaches, captured by the planet's immense gravity and welcomed into its permanent court. They move in a complex and beautiful dance, some orbiting in the same direction as the planet's spin, and others moving in a slow, retrograde waltz. This collection of worlds makes the Jovian system a miniature version of the solar system itself, a shimmering hierarchy of matter and motion. Together, they represent the incredible diversity of the cosmos, gathered in the shadow of the king. The relationship between the sun and the giant is so profound that their shared center of gravity, known as the barycenter, does not actually lie within the body of the sun itself. Because Jupiter is so massive, it pulls on the sun with enough strength to shift the center of the system to a point just above the solar surface. As the two largest bodies in our neighborhood move through the dark, they perform a slow and rhythmic waltz around this invisible point in space. This means the sun itself performs a tiny, circular wobble as it responds to the presence of the king, a silent acknowledgement of the giant's overwhelming influence. It is a masterpiece of celestial mechanics, a delicate balance of mass and energy that anchors the entire solar architecture. In the silence of the deep, this dance continues without pause, a testament to the unbreakable bond between the star and its greatest planet. Deep within the magnetosphere, the planet produces a unique form of energy known as decametric radio bursts, which are influenced by the movement of the volcanic moon Io. These bursts are like rhythmic flashes of radio light, created as the moon moves through the magnetic threads of the king and triggers a release of energy toward the atmosphere. These signals are so powerful that they were among the first sounds of the cosmos ever detected by the early radio telescopes on our own world. They carry a specific melody, a series of rising and falling tones that speak of the electrical connection between the giant and its closest companion. This radio voice is a constant presence, a shimmering broadcast that tells the story of the hidden forces that govern the Jovian environment. Listening to these signals is like hearing the planet breathe, a melodic expression of the energy that flows through the velvet silence. As we look toward the future, new robotic voyagers are being prepared to make the long journey across the dark to study the king and its icy moons with even greater detail. These messengers will carry advanced instruments to peer through the frozen crust of Europa and listen to the magnetic heartbeat of Ganymede. They will spend many years in the shadow of the giant, navigating the intense radiation and the shimmering plasma of the magnetosphere to unlock the secrets of the hidden oceans. These missions represent the peak of our collective curiosity, a desire to understand the potential for life in the most distant and cold reaches of the cosmos. They will move with a slow and steady momentum, following in the footsteps of the pioneers and voyagers that came before them. Each new discovery will be a soft whisper from the deep, adding a new layer of beauty to our understanding of the king. The legacy of Jupiter is one of endurance, stability, and the quiet power of gravity to organize the chaos of the early universe into a harmonious system. It has stood as a guardian and a sovereign for 4.5 billion years, watching over the birth and transition of all the worlds in our solar family. Its shimmering bands, its swirling spots, and its invisible magnetic crowns are all parts of a single, magnificent masterpiece of natural law. As it continues its long and steady journey through the stars, the king remains a symbol of the boundless beauty and complexity of the cosmos. It is a world that invites us to look upward and find a sense of peace in the realization that we are part of a grand and ancient story. In the velvet silence of the outer reaches, the giant rests in its rightful place, a shimmering monument to the eternal laws of light, heat, and motion. Our long and drifting journey through the majestic realm of the King of Planets is now drawing to its quiet and natural conclusion. We have traveled across the vast distances from the inner worlds to witness the shimmering beauty of the amber and cream clouds that define the face of this ancient giant. We have explored the deep and heavy layers of the atmosphere, descending into the hidden ocean of liquid metallic hydrogen, where the elements are transformed by the profound weight of the world. We have stood in awe of the great red spot, a crimson sentinel that has maintained its rhythmic rotation for hundreds of years in the velvet silence. Behind us, the family of moons continues its synchronized waltz, from the volcanic breath of Io to the dark and silent seas hidden beneath the icy shell of Europa. Every discovery we have made, from the powerful magnetic crowns at the poles to the delicate veils of the dust rings, is a part of the grand and eternal tapestry of the Jovian kingdom. As we begin to pull away from the giant's presence, the intense energy of the radiation belts fades into a soft and steady hum that vibrates through the boundless deep. The radio music of the magnetosphere, which we once heard as a vibrant choir of rising tones, now becomes a gentle and distant whisper in the dark. The immense gravitational pull of the planet remains a grounding anchor, a silent reminder of the stability and protection that the king has provided to our solar system for 4.5 billion years. In the vastness of the outer reaches, the giant once again takes its place as a shimmering beacon of light, a steady point of rests in the perfect balance of the cosmos. The silence of the void returns to greet us, wrapping the mind in a soft and shimmering veil of absolute peace. The scales we have contemplated, the thousands of miles of depth, and the eons of celestial history remind us of the profound and beautiful order that governs all things. We are part of a grand story of transition and energy, a celestial rebirth that moves with the slow and steady rhythm of the spheres. The light of the distant sun, reflecting off the ammonia mists of the giant, is a shimmering thread that connects us to the heart of our celestial neighborhood. Now, let the details of the high-speed jet streams and the magnetic threads settle into the quiet corners of your thoughts like falling crystals in the deep atmosphere. The journey across the Jovian system is complete, and the vast sanctuary of the cosmos is your home for the night. As the image of the great amber planet fades into the shimmering distance, let the silence be your only companion in the dark. Rest in the knowledge of the giant's eternal watch over the deep, and let your mind drift into the peaceful,